Welcome to RELICS Radio, your favorite weekly podcast dedicated to the metal detecting and treasure hunting community. Here are your hosts, Ken from Adventures in Dirt and Tony from 5280 Adventures.
Hey everyone, Thursday night. Welcome to RELICS Radio. Good to see everyone joining us here in the chat room. I wanted to say hello to you, and glad we came a little bit late notice with this tonight, for sure. But glad to be here on another Thursday night. What I want to do right now is I want to bring in my co-hosts. 5280 Adventures. Tony, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Thursday night. Welcome to Thursday night. Yeah.
Thursday night. Hey, I just want to say something. Just need to say something real quick. I'm excited.
We found Grandma's baroche this weekend.
We did. We can actually discuss that tonight. Yeah. But I'm not in my studio. You can tell here. This is a different setting here. Not a very good camera. I'm on an old laptop. So
are you on the road somewhere?
Yeah, I'm in Colorado still, but twice a year I've got family that comes out and visits me from the great state of OH. So my dad's here this week, and so I'm up north and hanging out with him, and I'm like, let's still do the podcast. We got some good stuff to talk about tonight, so yeah, I don't want to miss another week. I hate missing weeks and stuff, but we got a lot of stuff that's going on, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's going to be a really awesome show. It's going to be really good. We couldn't miss tonight.
Yep. Nope. We couldn't. I want to say hello to Bill Hayes. He first went in saying hi, Tony and Ken. Bill, Ohio Relic Hunter, says hello. Welcome the two Bills. Good to see you. Larry Stevens.
Always.
Where did I see Larry? I saw some pictures of Larry. I think Larry was at Kadoha. Kadoha. See the pictures rolling in on that hunt? Boy, what a hunt it looked like.
Yeah. Great spot. Looks like it turned out well, for sure. Wish I could have been there.
Riddles Relics. Good evening, all. Good to see you. Detect SD, Detect South Dakota says good evening.
There we go.
Hello, everyone. Just want to welcome you to Thursday night and joining us here tonight. DC Diggins in the house. Good to see you.
Hey, welcome. Catching the show live tonight. Look at that, DC Diggin. That's awesome.
Welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Sometimes that's right. For those that always have had the audio show forever, I never really had a chance to see some of the stuff we would talk about. And, this now new video format allows people to do that. We did that kind of out of necessity, right? We talk about that all the time at least we were hosting the show would no longer let us do a live show. And that live element is important to Tony and I. So we decided to do it over here.
We're actually going to have some live stuff that'll help. If you guys are watching live with us, we appreciate it. You'll be able to kind of be a part of the show tonight because we are going to have some visual attractions going on. So that's the plan. So we appreciate you guys showing up live, and you can always watch it on replay again on YouTube on 5280 Adventures and Adventures in Dirt. So you can actually see what's going on. But we love to see you guys live. It's a lot more fun. We got a live chat going on and lots of conversations and things like that. So.
Yeah, and we'll be interacting a lot more tonight, so make sure you're throwing your questions up in the chat room, and also we'll probably be asking you some questions to get some interaction going. Greg, Finding America is in the chat room. Good to see you, Greg.
Nice.
Welcome.
Here we go. How about Berkshire's in.
Berkshire's
MA Treasure Hunters. Finally I catch a lot. Yeah. Perfect. That's awesome. Like I said, I love that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we talk about the weather here. It's definitely getting cooler.
This weekend.
Trying to figure out when I'm going to blow out my sprinklers because it's starting to get that cool.
Well, we're using the trailer this weekend, and I told my wife, I said, this might be the last time that we actually have running water. When I get back, I may winterize it, blow everything out, winterize it, and I'm still going to use it because I can use it to sleep and run the furnace and things like that. I just can't run the water in it. But this may be the last time I got water in it for a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't freeze on us. Because 50s this I think tomorrow's supposed to be like 55 or something. So What's up with that? It's officially fall in Colorado.
It is, man. My lawn's covered with leaves, and like I sit in this corner office, and it just gets cold. It's like a real breezy corner office, and it got that way today. I was like, man, it's the first time I've actually felt a little chilly in my office for a long time.
Yep.
Teresa,
it's coming.
Treasure Hunter, how you doing? Good to see you. She's pulling double duty. You know, she's over there watching Jason's stream too.
She's watching both.
Double duty. She
Talk
can
about committed.
That's all right.
We appreciate you being here for sure.
Yeah. Rat.
Hey.
Relic Rat.
Where is that? I saw
Covering artifacts together. Yep. Good to see you. Welcome. Glad everyone could roll in. Buckle Boy. How you doing, Buckle Boy?
Nice.
Yeah, shoot.
Nice.
No, Thursday night. We're glad to be hanging out with you. This was a pretty fun weekend. This last weekend.
Busy to say the least.
Yeah.
Busy. Yeah, we had quite a Saturday. Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. Well,
I'm getting confused. It was kind of.
I don't know what day it was.
The whole weekend was busy.
It was Saturday. Yeah, we met each other with one of our buddies. In fact, one of our buddies who finds this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We met him and we went metal detecting in a location. We were talking about this earlier, right? An area that's been here forever. I mean, since before, right around when we became a state. So you're talking 1870s. And we've never been up to this area. And there are spots everywhere. So
everywhere. I just never thought to look up that way. And,
right.
My mind was always elsewhere as far as, optimal locations, but it's like, it feels like the dam is opened up or a new frontier is opened up or something. Right? Doesn't it feel that way?
Well, yeah. So we generally look at old maps and we're looking to see, in areas that are, maybe used to be populated. So you're looking at intersections, you're looking for churches and schools, those kind of different things. And we never thought to look in this one specific area. We start pulling maps from that area. And it's like, every mile or so, you got another homestead or multiple homesteads sitting there together.
Right.
And we went and hit one and it was productive. I mean, there's a lot of modern, I'll say that. I think I came home with, 50 pounds of lead and 20 pounds of, spent cartridges.
Yeah.
And it's all from the 1980s and on. But if you dig through that, man, we got on some stuff.
We really did. Like, it was a lot of fun. Like, everyone was hitting stuff, it's always a good time, right? You go out with a bunch of group of friends. What usually happens? One guy usually kills it.
Right.
The other one kind of, they don't, they find one or two things or whatever, which is fun. That's fine too. We all support each other and root each other on. But when you can all find stuff and you're all kind of like running over to each other and what's this? And we all go run. It was a fun day for sure.
Yeah. You were the button king, huh?
Yeah, I kept finding similar buttons. I think Jeff found the first one and we were like, cool, because it was very decorative. And then I found the same one. And then I found another one, like, 20 yards apart, same one. Like, I don't know the history of that button, but it'd be interesting to know if it was a popular style button back then or what.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. What we had decided was, they were getting naked out there and he took off his coat and swung it around his head. Woo! And all the buttons went flying.
That has
because we found what? Four the same button.
For the same button, like 20 yards apart, just scattered. So it
and
had to be this
not
fucking,
even
woo!
Right. It wasn't like the jacket got dropped and it deteriorated and the buttons were there. They went all over. They were whooping it up over there.
They were.
But beautiful buttons. And you found cufflink.
Yeah, beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Single cufflink. So it was like a barbell type cufflink, right? So it's sort of a straight piece. Didn't have a chain or anything on it. It just would go right through the buttonhole and have two little things on each side of it. And there were two discs it was a copper piece, had like a crossed, a piece that was holding in two pieces of mother of pearl. So it had mother of pearl accents underneath this sort of crossed copper enclosure in these copper cups with like a single bar. And man, how that mother, because that stuff's so delicate.
Right.
I've been taking pictures of it real small, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
see the waves, like almost like the waves coming off of the mother of pearl.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And those that are listening, if you guys haven't seen it yet, head over to what did you post it in? Your personal page and maybe
Yeah.
Adventures in Dirt.
Yeah, I think I posted on both places, even over on my Instagram page, over at Adventures in Dirt on my Instagram page over there too.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful piece. You took some great pictures of it, and man, it was really, really cool. Very cool to be able to find a complete piece, with still stones in it. Generally, we find items that don't have the stones in it, and then obviously you're not, unless you're sifting with the tiny type of prospecting type, a sifter, you're not gonna be able to find those stones again. But yours had the mother of pearl in there, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
Did you do
I
any
think I can
cleaning on
share.
it?
I think I can share it here. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do this.
Yeah. Did you clean it at all?
Can you hear that? Can you see that?
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at
So
that.
I don't know if they can still hear us, but yeah, that's.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. That's all that matters then. As long as yeah, but you can see, that's like mother of pearl inside these little cups. And now it's bent flat, right? Normally they would oppose each other. But yeah, pretty amazing that survived.
Very cool.
All that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're thinking, late 1800s on that piece.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole area here, like when you do the research on the maps, most of the home sites are they're showing up in the 1900 map.
Right.
So they built sometime before the 1900s, so they're all pretty much 1800 home sites. How far back they go, I don't know. They don't really have anything earlier than 1900s as far as a topo map goes. So, yeah.
Beautiful piece, though. It's a good job.
Riddles RELICS says, real quick, I have a hard time finding older maps in my area. I've tried some sites, but very limited. Boy, I hear you there, boy. Same here. Hit and miss. Definitely hit and miss.
But the key is, you find one good map and you're off and running. That honestly, with what we found, that's maybe a year's worth of work, honestly.
Yeah.
If we really wanted to hit each location multiple times, it's easily a year's worth of work. So the information's out there. You just gotta keep hunting and pecking and doing the research, and we're talking with our buddy Zach actually came in from Kansas. And went hunting with us out there, and he was talking. So I picked him up, and we're about 2 hours away meeting you guys. And he starts talking. He goes, "Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but I just got back from Washington D.C. I went back to
that's right,
the National Archives." And he talk about research. Okay, you and I are putting in, when we're supposed to be working, right? We're supposed to be working, and we're on the computer. I just went out to DC for 2 days.
Yeah, just to look for some old,
some old stuff from the archives,
old diary logs, and
yeah.
That's dedication, man. You can take a trip all the way out to Washington to go pull.
Right, and he goes. They were like pushing me out the door. I was there till close. He spent like 2 full days because the stuff that he did find there is not online. It's not digitized. So what he's looking at is the only reference of a specific diary that he had figured out. And he's looking and holding the original diary from 1857 of this soldier. And so, it's not online. And so he ended up putting it up to PDF, and he's digitizing it and making it accessible for other people too, because until, right now it's sitting in the archives in a box somewhere, and no one's using it. So he got some good information that's going to keep him and us busy for the next couple of years.
Good point. Him and us.
So
he was talking to me about the process of him doing that.
Awesome.
He'd go in there and he would give them the slip, and they would just go, and they'd be gone for like almost an hour, and they'd come back wheeling out this huge cart with all these documents, and it'd be the actual documents. And and he would be like, "Do you want me to put on some white gloves?" And they're like, "No, here, look through it." And he was just flipping out. You know what I mean?
You know what he told me about that diary? He goes, "Tony, I opened it up. It's written in pencil. You're actually holding the diary, right?" He says, "I'm going through the pages. I'm hitting them on my camera." He says, "I opened it up. There's a beard hair inside the diary." still from the guy from 1857. He's like, do I blow it out? Do I pick it? Do I leave it? I mean, what do I do with this thing?
That's so funny.
But it's Zach. He left it in there.
Right.
You know, it's a part of history here.
Yeah.
Look at this comment right here. Bill says, "Yeah, Zach knows where the gold coins are."
He absolutely does. And that's why right there.
Right?
Yeah. You do that kind of research, you're going to find the gold coins for sure. Crazy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. So
digging it back.
But we had a good time hunting.
Yeah. Digging it back said, how about the Gaia app? Gaia GPS is an app you can get for your phone. And I think Tony uses on X, and a lot of those things they'll have historic maps you can overlay and swipe back and forth. That's what I use. I use that to map all this property we're talking about, this area. I went in there, and that's when I started overlaying the 1900 map, and there's just hundreds of sites. And I was just like, I was just waypointing. I'm just putting waypoint after waypoint, and all those are potential targets for us to go hit now. It's pretty cool.
I love it.
It was exciting.
Well, I mean, talking about the inspiration.
The
inspiration. All of a sudden now, you're like, where do you want to go? Well, where do you think I want to go? I want to go to where we haven't hunted. We went to 2 different sites. One had been hunted before by Jeff. We went to a different site that was in that general area. And with 4 people, we killed it. So, now it's like, okay, now there's 100 sites out here.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go hunting? I want to go hunting out there. And maybe, maybe the ones where you park at that are further off the beaten path, maybe those are the ones we really concentrate on right now, because those have a more likelihood of not being hit because it takes a little bit more effort to get out to them. So,
well, there was dig holes there.
Who knows?
There were dig holes there for sure. People had hit it, but boy, there was still plenty of stuff. We could have stayed out there. We could keep going back to that one site, a number of more times. And now, and so here's the other thing about it, right? LiDAR. So our friend Jeff,
and then you threw LiDAR over the top of it. Yeah.
fell down that rabbit hole. So our friend Jeff said he looked at some LiDAR and was able to locate sites out there where he saw the house site location, and it really wasn't anywhere near where the black dot was on the overlay map.
Right.
So he's thinking, we should hit those, because maybe people show up at the black dot location, they get discouraged,
right? Never find
where
anything.
It's 100 yards away or whatever, and then using LiDAR, he now knows where that's at, and maybe we go hit that next. So that would be interesting to go check.
Well, those early 1900s or late 1800 maps are hand drawn. So, they're doing the best. And then when you do an overlay, it's as close as it can get. It's still technology, but there is room for error in those. When you're running the LiDAR, you're seeing, that legit image over the top of the site. And you're going to see, that's the thing. There's no 90-degree angles in nature. You see a 90-degree angle with a square, 4 90-degree angles. Probably not going to be natural.
Probably not. So that's always fun.
Yeah, too, excited about that.
You're looking at like a satellite image, and you're like, okay, well, it's got to be around there somewhere. You're looking for like maybe a satellite image with some like sticks of wood or some remnants of a ruin or something. Right. You're not seeing anything. And then you put it on LiDAR, and you're like, whoa, that's it right there.
It just blows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did we talk to on the podcast not too long ago about LiDAR that they use that? Was it up in Michigan?
Yeah, it was up in Michigan.
Was it Copper Culture?
Copper Culture guy, yeah.
I can't remember which episode that was. We had a couple people.
Yeah, and he used like
SARS
Topo or something like that. He did it's kind of a free thing, and I checked that out too. And the shaded relief is to me it's a little limiting. But I went on USGS and used their whole 3DEP or whatever it is, extended shaded relief, and that's where you really see things really pop and stand out for sure. So maybe we'll do a
that's
show
a great
on that
site.
Sometime. Yeah.
That
whole USGS site,
great
between
site.
The historical topo maps that they have there and now the LiDAR issue things they've got and old maps, and it's a great site. They do a lot. They do a lot for us for sure.
Hey, we just had Indiana Tones pop in the chat. Hey, what's up, Lou?
Good to
Yeah,
see
good to
you.
have you on. Thanks for coming. So I'm trying to think of, I mean, we spent a couple hours up there and we did pretty well in terms of buttons, a couple old bullets, stove parts, stove legs and feet and things like that. And one coin, right?
One coin, Indian head
Got an
penny,
Indian head.
1900.
Yeah,
What was it? 1904,
Six,
six?
I
Yeah.
think.
Found.
Right
Let
around
me see.
that.
What else did we
Yeah.
say? We found a. Oh my gosh, there was one button I found that was beautiful. Yeah, here's another thing. Here's what I love about Colorado. There's many areas in Colorado where the soil is such that it just preserves. It does it just
Yeah.
protects the items from being decayed and rotten out. The buttons were just, that button Zach found was stellar, wasn't it? Are you frozen? I think you froze. But yeah, our friend Zach found a button that was just absolutely in pristine condition. Dusty and dirty, but man, just sharp and vivid. It's absolutely crazy. We found, let me see what else they find. They found, oh, cool. Yeah, I think he found like a pocket watch, kind of a pocket watch back. That was really cool. Had a bunch of writing on it. Was able to research that. I think you're back.
Yep.
But that button, right? The Zach's, wasn't it amazing? Like, just looked like it had been laser cut. Yeah. But
yeah. As well as, it sounds ridiculous, but shotgun head stamps. They were beautiful.
Yep.
No corrosion on them. The paper ones. So you're talking about the older ones. They not like they were last week's shotgun shells.
Yeah.
They're 100 years old. No corrosion to them. It was very, very, where we were, very sandy soil out in the plains.
Yeah.
So everything was real gentle to the relics, and that makes it even more inspiring to go out and find those things, because the Indian head penny came out gorgeous, like it had just been dropped. Still had what is it, diamonds on it. You could full liberty on it still. Beautiful. It wasn't the green patina, like it had been soaking in water and had the corrosion, right, the patina on it. But man, just beautiful. Yep. Beautiful spot, beautiful area, and beautiful.
And I've only found one. I've only found one Indian head penny in my entire detecting career, and I'm dying to go back out there just for the chance of finding another Indian head penny, man. So I think they're beautiful coins, but especially in the condition they're coming in out there, like crazy. Yeah. I think you're frozen up again, at least video wise. There you go.
Yep.
You're out there in the middle of were you out in the middle of Indiana or something? Out there in the middle of is that where you're traveling to, or? Can you hear me?
I'm in a house, and this guy is an IT tech guy. I don't know why we've got bad internet.
Yeah, you need to go get him on the line. Get him on that. Gary Hools wants to know if there's any snakes. I didn't see any snakes. We didn't see any snakes out there. They do go out there to catch them, though.
No. Potential. Yeah, potential. Do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Things are starting to cool down now. They'll probably be getting out of there. But I know people do go out there to, I was reading some articles about that area, and people were like, yeah, I go out there to catch snakes all the time. Well, we didn't see any.
Right.
That's for good.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Bill Hayes knows my.
You
there?
Yeah. He was talking about those head stamps are the 12th Georgia buttons. Says it right on it.
That's right. 12th Georgia.
People listen to this show.
Did I get you on that?
Yes.
Did I get you on that? Who did I get on that? I can't remember who we were with. I've said that multiple times to people that we've been hunting with. And,
I'm pretty gullible.
Yeah.
Probably me.
Freaked out. 12th Georgia what?
Oh, Jeff.
No,
I think it was Jeff.
12th GA.
He was Jeff or Michael that you did that too. Maybe Michael.
Right. Yeah, that's what it was. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I always talk about that 101st Airborne plate.
Yes.
My cow tag.
That one was funny 101
too. On it. It was shaped just same oval, just like a belt, like a belt buckle, like a civ belt buckle, and it was like when I uncovered it, I looked down, I just saw that rounded rim peeking out of the dirt, and I was like, oh, but nope, it was a cow tag. So that was, oh well.
That was Saturday.
So that was Saturday. That was a good Saturday.
Yeah.
Did you do anything on Sunday, or did you
Good
rest?
Saturday. I rested. Sunday was there's the honeydew list on Sunday.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I was tired by Sunday because Saturday was one thing, but there was a Friday involved there. We also had a Friday to deal with.
We haven't said much about this, talked much about it. So this is kind of the I don't know, big reveal. Kind of the big reveal.
Kind of. People get tired of us not being
we can
able
talk.
to fully
We can
reveal,
talk.
but-
Yeah, we can talk that much about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we had a day. We had a day together up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Both of us kind of had to take a day off work.
Well, it was well worth it.
Yeah.
For good reason. We got contacted on Monday that there was an opportunity for us to head over to an area and have a TV production crew follow us around for the day.
Yep.
And we would love to spill the beans and give more details, but we can talk a little bit about just kind of the experience of it.
Yeah.
So we actually we were filming an entire episode for a good TV show, and that's going to be coming out in the spring. The episode will be out in the spring. So I'm a little anxious. I don't know if you slept very much, but I know I haven't because I've been on cloud 9.
Yeah. Yeah. So you all, if you listen to the show for a long time, you've probably heard Tony and I talk about another production he and I were involved in with a production company out of the UK for Studio Ramsey. And they came out a couple of summers ago now, and they shot some stuff with us and stuff. And we've talked about that experience. This was night and day. In my world, this was night and day. Like, yeah, Cloud 9. It was so fun. It was so fun, and it was so eye-opening and interesting, and so much more up our alley than the last one was.
Yep. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah, because we were a little turned off a little bit by the last opportunity. I mean, it was fun. We did it. It's something we can look back on and say, yeah, we did that. You know, no one over in the UK knows us anyway, so you know it was it was good. But this one actually was it's a great show, and really, really honored to be a part of it, and just the experience. Like, what was your first take on it?
Well, I mean, I got to tell you, you know, you're starstruck, you're in awe, but really, we got to do what we do. You know, I mean, it was an incredible permission, historical permission, and we were there to find treasure and uncover history. That's what we were there to do. So, it was incredible in terms of and very opportunistic that that's something we had to jump on. And I think I was trying to figure out exactly what was the difference, not even just the production side of things, which we can talk about details of that forever. But you know what it was? It was the passion of the people that we were with this time about treasure hunting, history, those kind of different things, completely different versus the BBC one. You know, we took out celebrities that didn't know about the history. They knew about the history of what we were trying to do, but didn't appreciate necessarily maybe the area that we were in, to where you stand there in a field and go, do you understand who came through this area and settled this area, who went on to California, and like all those kind of different things. Who we were with on Friday, 100% was all about it. And on top of it was right next to you digging. So
yeah, it was cool. Between the show, the crew, forget it. The crew was, you know,
amazing.
Well, we like the crew on the last one too, but the crew this time was just really amazing. Really a tight knit group, and just seemed to all kind of know what the other was thinking. It seemed like, but the landowners, When you meet a
Yeah.
landowner that are on probably like one of the most historic pieces of land that we can get to here in Colorado,
Right.
it was,
Right.
and they love the history and know the history so much that they are just blowing you away. They were giving us tours of their home and showing us all the parts and pieces of what was original and what wasn't, and this and that. And we're using these square nails we found to refurbish this part and all this stuff. And we were just like, and they were digging it. They were digging it and showing that to us and having a blast. Like
well, we're going through the house. You know, they brought us in as there's a lull before things got started in the morning, and take us through the house, show us the renovations. You're walking on original floorboards. And there's one spot, what I absolutely love, they took a picture of in the hallway when they had done the renovation. They had actually found the original wallpaper and then wainscoting on the bottom of bottom half of the wall. And so what they did was when they had actually framed it in, they left a section probably 2-3 feet wide. That was the original wall, original wallpaper, original paint, everything. And as you're walking down the hallway, it's like right there. And just seeing the passion and love that they have of the history of that location made it even better.
It was because they were just all smiles showing it to us who were complete strangers to them. And we were just, they would turn the corner, the wood burning original fancy
wood stove
was sitting there. And it was just like, oh my gosh,
well, and I was just going to say when you're out there and the homeowners are coming over talking with us, first names, not very comfortable is a great word. And the male landowner comes over. Hey, Tony. Yeah. What's up, bud? We really, really like you guys a lot. He's talking about the three of us that were out there hunting. We really like you guys a lot. What would you think about you guys coming back up here kind of on your own and having more fun? I mean, that's how he talked about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really having more fun up here on the location. He goes, we'll bring in a barbecue, we'll cook you guys lunch and stuff like that. And what about it? Buy a case of beer, and we'll just, I mean, that's the
exactly
conversation that we had with him.
Yeah.
Right. But he could see the passion and the enjoyment that we got. And how much of that we found did we walk away with?
Oh yeah, nothing. Zero.
No artifacts, no relics, no historical remembrance of the site, right? It stayed there with the landowners. And they understood that we were there for the benefit of history. And I mean, going back to why we were there, it's really going to come out in this episode that's going to be in the spring when it airs in the spring. I think that's going to be the focus of what we were there to do, and the excitement and the enjoyment and the camaraderie and all of that stuff is really, I think, kind of really shine through our involvement.
The last time we were involved in one of those productions, you and I did a lot of sitting. So we had like on camera action for maybe just maybe 45 minutes, let's say, over all day period of time. Other time we're just sitting there watch what's going on. But this time that we're involved completely 100% of the time, nonstop, to the point to where I think there was a little lull towards the end where they had to get some different shots.
Yeah.
And I went and sat down with the landowners. I got a chance to sit there and actually talk with them, heard their whole story. They wanted to know what I did for a living. They told us how they met. They wanted to talk about how they acquired that property, all the whole story.
Right.
They just huge smiles on their faces. We're just like you said, to say, we're so ecstatic you guys are here. This is so much fun for us that, Ken, he says, Ken, listen, you and your wife ever come up here to go visit this place? I go like, yeah, all the time. We love it up here. He's like,
right.
Just, you have my contact information. Stop by. We'll go meet you for dinner. We'll come out. We love you guys. You guys just have thrilled us today. This has been one of the funnest times we've had in forever. And it was, when you get landowners like that, right? You're just like home run, because they were educating. They were like, Do you know
Oh
about this
gosh,
about
they
this
knew
guy? Do
so
you know
much.
about this guy? Because the place is tied to this certain individual. And they're like, did you know this? Did you know this? I was like, no, I got to go now and do a bunch of research on this
Right.
guy, you know?
Well, we thought that we knew a lot about that location, even through research that we had done previous to being over there.
Yeah.
And we knew just the top portion of, I mean, they delved deep into a lot of stuff that was going on there, even with the hotel down the street. And then they would actually transport, food and beverages and things like that from where we were down over to the hotel. And it was a pretty historical location. Like, it was a ritzy type of thing going on down there. And they knew a lot about that kind of stuff. And they were able to educate us then, which helps because then we can start moving towards different areas. And it's just not us, understanding what was there, but they understood
Right.
where the stuff was. And
Right.
so, then you can start moving to different areas. And we found more stuff once we were able to move. Hey, there's a trail that runs through the woods here that went over to the hotel. Okay, well, let's go up there. Sure enough, there's stuff on the trail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing.
And here's the thing, right? Like they talk about they used to do some hunting up there, right? So then when you uncover sort of a bullet from that time period, you're just like, well, you can age the bullet. You can age the cartridge, and you're just like, well, there's a darn good chance, that this was involved with these people.
This person had it.
Yeah. And it just,
what an amazing time.
Ups the ante for sure. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Spent,
go ahead.
Went up there the night before. They put us up in a hotel.
Yeah.
We kind of all got together and got out there early and just had a crazy day. We were so spent by the end of the day because we did detect all day long. Very little set up shots. You know what I mean? It was just a lot of detecting and camera people.
We met with the production. We had the production crew in our hotel, met them for breakfast, and they were all, tired from shooting the day before, doing B-roll and intros and things like that. And we said, hey, we're just going to go over to the site. We're going to start, looking for areas that we want to concentrate on so we can kind of get some information, not digging anything, not uncovering anything, just kind of going, hey, that area didn't have anything. We're not going to go over there. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to focus on this area over in the woods. We're going to do this area. And I mean, we were there. I don't even know what time I got home. It was like 9 o'clock.
Well, you had the longest drive.
It was,
yeah. You had the longest drive.
I did, but
and then you had to turn around, get up in the morning, go pick Zach up first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And drive all the way back up north.
It was a long weekend.
Yeah, it was a long weekend, but it's fun, man. It's been a while since we've had that kind of exciting weekend, kind of doing what we love and being around other people like that love to do what we do and are really into the history and can't wait. When that episode comes out, we told the producers that we would help promote it and maybe we'll do a little watching party and stuff. Cause it really was going to be hopefully it's going to be a cool episode. You never know what they're going to do with the editing, right? They're like, here's Tony.
Right. Well, I've seen their editing. They nail it. They knock it out of the park. So I'm not worried about how it's going to portray us or anything like that. Just knowing what our day consisted of, how the crew was going about certain things. I tell you, you and I are both on YouTube, and there are some people here that are joining us that also produce videos and things like that. How much did you learn just being in that environment in terms of recording a treasure hunting video? What did you learn?
Yeah, a lot. I tell you, a lot, because you're right. We both enjoy metal detecting, right? But we also have this other thing that we do to produce content like the podcast and making videos.
Right.
And so here we are, we're surrounded by sort of professionals in the industry on creating these type of exciting type shows. And I think it was just watching the time they took to get multiple shots of one certain thing and retaking some of it. Let's get a drone shot now. Let's do an upshot here, and let's do this pan shot from this side, blah, blah, blah. And why they were doing that was a real big eye opener for me. It all made a lot of sense. And then our conversation you and I had with the cameramen afterwards, before we left, as we were saying goodbye, those guys stopped and took the time to just let it all out as far as, tips for us of what we could do, to the point to now, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know, but are you like me? You got all these ideas in your head now where you're like, oh yeah, I could totally step up the game, but not easy.
Ideas, but also expectations in my brain about what I should be doing now, what I should be putting out in terms of content for people that give me their time. It's my obligation to make sure that I'm putting out the best video. And sometimes I just phone it in, man. I'm just, it's one take and you're going to get what I get. And that's not, I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much on myself in order to put out better content. I don't know. I'm inspired. I'm inspired. I can tell you that. I'm inspired by their approach and the reason why they did things. But now I put an expectation on myself to produce something that is it truly honestly attainable for my level of filming by myself. I didn't have a camera crew. I didn't have 4 cameras follow me around, a sound guy. Everybody's mic'd up. We're waiting for a truck to go by and before we do the take and like those kind of different things. What am I putting on my shoulders now?
Yeah. And that, that adds a lot of pressure. I know you and I were talking about that. We always want to do the best we can do, either with this podcast. I mean, you and I are both into a lot of stuff, man. We're into a lot of stuff. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Like, you and I have talked about it, right? Like I took almost a year off of YouTube, because a bunch of stuff was happening. My wife was having some health issues and I was, burnt out and all. It was a good time for me to take a break. I needed to take a break. But you have this sort of sense of obligation and you're going to let people down and I'm letting myself down. I mean, no matter what it is, when you make a commitment to something and you can no longer achieve that commitment or uphold that commitment, I think we do that to ourselves all the time. So now seeing all these new techniques we can do to, to up our game with that, I'm just like, man, what am I going to have to give up to be able to do that? And I don't know, it's going to be pretty tough, man.
To achieve that, right?
Yeah. But it's tough because we do have an audience around us, and we make a commitment and stuff, and it's always tough when you feel like you're gonna let people. No, here let's pull that up. We were talking about Kurt from the Hoover Boys. You saw that video he put out, right? Did you happen to see that? Are you there? Did you freeze again? Let me see. I was seeing if I can pull that up. Looks like you froze again, man. We can't hear you. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to try and pull that up. Tony and I were kind of talking about it where, Kurt from the Hoover Boys was kind of that had been missing in action. You know what I mean? Like his group was kind of all going, blowing up about them not putting out a video. Now there's some expectation, man. Like, they put out that expectation week after week after week after week for years and years and years and years. And people get really used to, kind of consuming that content and being entertained. It becomes part of their entertainment. And when it's no longer there, it's shocking, right? I know on my own journey, when I stopped making videos for about a year, people were constantly reaching out to, hey man, you okay? And then you're like, how much of your personal life how much of your personal stuff do you want to put out there? You know what I mean? Like, is there a limit? What do I give everything? You know what I mean? Do I let everyone in exactly what's going on? You want to reserve a little bit of that stuff, but somebody like Kurt has got this huge audience behind him. It's really tough. Did you happen to see that video he put out, Tony? Can you hear me? Hello? Did I lose him? Am I losing him again? Oh, there you are. Yeah.
So
People are saying that they did see Kurt's video and they hope he's doing well. He came out and he kind of put out a video talking about what's been going on with him. And you saw it, right?
I did catch it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to back up, it's so they very consistent, right? Every Wednesday they're putting out a video consistently for years upon years, not missing any videos. And they're coming up on episode 500. And all of a sudden, no videos. They're MIA on videos for weeks. And I as you are, I'm on the Hoover Boys Facebook page, and people are asking questions. Hey, why was there no video? When's the next video coming out? And people are making answers. Hey, everything's fine. Videos coming out. Don't worry. Trying to put the final touches on it. Blah blah blah. Those kind of different things. So that kind of brings us up to, I guess, today.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I saw his video, a lot of other people in chat have said they can totally relate. Like, we're doing all this stuff for enjoyment because we enjoy it, and we enjoy sort of letting other people in on it. And after a while, you're like, sometimes you can feel obligated, So then you're like, well, what happened? Like you and I, we take breaks here whenever we feel we need to, or something comes up and we need to. We just let people know, hey, we can't do a show tonight, or hey, we're off tonight. Sometimes guests don't work out, or sometimes something comes up in our personal life, and that's just the way it goes. But we feel we got to do what we got to do, right? Sorry, I'm just typing to somebody. We feel like we got to do what we got to do.
There is that, right? There is a feeling of obligation, commitment. We've committed to running a podcast that people enjoy. I believe people enjoy. If there's people here that's why they're here, and they support RELICS Radio as well as our YouTube channels, and so we do feel that obligation at times, and sometimes it can be. For me, I can tell you, last week it was not going to work for me. I lost my mom, and it wasn't a good time for my family, and it wasn't a good time for my podcast. It wasn't a good time for any of those kind of different things. So I had to take time away. But I felt, I don't know, torn about it, right?
Yeah.
Because we've made a commitment.
Yeah.
Made a commitment to be here weekly.
Yeah.
So it's difficult.
It is difficult. So I know you and I talked about his video earlier. I think it brought up a lot of stuff in both of us, because we are both sort of YouTube guys and put out a lot of stuff on social media, and that is sort of an aspect of our life. But we also have other stuff going on between the club and board of directors, right, and all kinds of other stuff in the community, and home life and stuff. So you and I talked about it. When I got home, I was talking to my wife about it. And my wife's a social worker. She's trained in a lot of stuff. And her and I were talking a lot about it. And she knows kind of the struggles I went through when I took my break away from YouTube, and so, what I thought I'd do? I thought I'd invite her on the show tonight so we can kind of chat about it. She had some really good insights about it earlier when we were talking about it. And then I thought, what we do? Maybe we should, because I don't want to talk about Kurt's video and put any kind of words in his mouth. You know what I mean? I think maybe we should watch Kurt's video.
Yeah.
And we can stop it and kind of touch on some points. But I want him to tell it. I want him to relate it. Because you and I were kind of talking about it too, right. But then we'd have to think back like, oh, he did say that, but did he say it in this way? Right. You know what I mean? So you want to do that? I'll go ahead and bring my wife on. I asked her to come on here tonight. Yeah. And she's going to kill me.
No, she's not.
There she is. Hello. Hi.
Not gonna kill you.
Not kill me.
I would need you to help hide your body. So.
Well, that's what Tony's for. Tony's
okay.
I can dig a hole.
Yeah, Tony knows how to dig. How are you?
Good.
You're just upstairs.
What?
You're just upstairs.
I know. I'm just upstairs. That's okay. It's quiet up here.
So you and I were talking earlier about that Kurt's video. We're going
Thanks
to
for
play it
coming
here in
on,
a
Sheila.
minute. Yeah. You know, one of the title of the show tonight, we were talking about keeping it real, and you know, Tony and I are always kind of letting out a little bit of personal stuff, but we keep stuff guarded a little bit, you know, like Tony, that's the first time you kind of let it out that, you know, your mom passed, and it's, you know, always a decision like that you make if you're going to let stuff like that out, you know, very, very tough time, I'm sure, and a lot of stuff you're dealing with. And but then again, like, did we lose you again? Oh, there. But then again, like, you know, things come up that you want to go do or whatever, and you're like struggling with sort of your time commitments and this and that. It's got to be a struggle, right? I think we lost him again. He's having connection problems over there. How are things upstairs? How's the weather up there, honey?
It's chilly today and hot in this office, and the dog is leaving me alone. So it's a good day.
He's usually down here barking at me. Everyone who listens to the podcast knows he's always down here barking his head off.
Yeah,
One night I
usually-
yelled at him and I didn't mute my mic.
I yelled at him in a court hearing the other day. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I told him, go sit down. And our guest was like, you talking to me? I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. That's not me. Well, yeah. So what we told people, honey, is that we're going to, I'm going to play Kurt's video because I don't want to put words in his mouth. I would kind of play it and then, and see how he put it out there. And then we can chat about it. You had some really good insights of it. I think you deal with this topic a lot in your professional life. And
I do.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, you know, we've all dealt with it at some point, right? Like you and Tony both are sort of first responders. I have that background. I don't, but I have a lot of pressures outside of just my social media and all that stuff at work and all my commitments elsewhere. So
Burnout is a very, very real thing. I did my graduate thesis on burnout. So not an expert by any means, but I do know quite a bit about it. And there's a lot of things you can do to prevent it, but once it's there, it's there. It's the body's way of demanding you stop and take care of yourself.
That's a good point. Well, let's play. Tony, you back with us? Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and play Kurt's video here. And then we can stop and talk about it along the way. I don't want to exploit Kurt's video here. But I don't want to put words in his mouth. And I know it touched Tony and I so much that we thought it'd be, you know, important to share because I think it affects a lot more people than what people even may realize here. So let's bring this up. All right, here's Kurt.
What's up, YouTube? This isn't easy for me, so I'm gonna more or less get right into it. I wrote some things down so I wouldn't get off topic. Apparently, there's been a few people out there worried about me. I appreciate that very much. For once, I was worried about me too. I have everything I've always dreamed of: a beautiful, loving wife, healthy children, a close family, and amazing friends that I also consider family. Unfortunately, because of some work-related issues, I've been battling with some sort of depression for the last 10 plus years. Probably why I started doing YouTube in the first place, to get my mind off of things. I became a first responder at a very young age. I was what they call a black cloud as a rookie. And I got to experience some pretty crazy things pretty early on and over the years. I've seen some horrible things up close and personal, all with minimum tools and manpower in an abused and broken system. Getting the short end of the stick has been par for the course for most of my career. I could have retired a few years ago, but my contract changed halfway through my career.
I want to stop it there. So already, right, you're hearing like, you know, most people know Kurt from his YouTube channel. known as one of the Hoover boys, right? Fun guy, laughing, loving. Some people got to know him intimately enough to kind of know what he does for a living. But I mean, already he's just told you a wealth of information he's probably never shared before. And yeah, a lot of stuff going on there, man. A lot of stuff building up to all this stuff. But I mean, even for him to do this video, right, Tony and Sheila, like, you know, it takes a lot of guts to kind of put something like this out, I would think.
Yeah, when I watched it, I didn't feel like he, I don't know, we had maybe talked about it. I didn't feel like he felt he was obligated to put this out. I think this is a good cleansing, healing moment for him, because he does have such a connection with all of us every single week. He's putting out stuff. He's going to events. He's talking to people. You know, he has a big connection. And to be the hardest part is to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. But I think he did this as a part of the healing process, which I commend him for. That's how I took it. Not as an obligation, just my personal opinion.
Yeah, let's play some more here.
Which first triggered depression in this usually happy-go-lucky boy in front of you. Lately, I've been attending way too many line of duty and active member funerals, which has also taken a toll on me.
Can you stop there?
Yeah.
Being a first responder, that's the part I could relate on the most. Dealing with a lot of different things in terms of depression and how first responders deal with depression in non-positive ways. I don't remember if he had said it before or if he's going to say it upcoming, but a lot of us, and I know that myself included 100%, I deal with it in humor. It's my mechanism of dealing with it. And I think, you know, he does say that as well. But I can relate on this part right here of talking about friends that we've been involved in, seeing so many nasty things that aren't good, and how we deal with this part of it. And I think a lot of people in these positions don't deal with it in a positive way. They suppress a lot of feelings. And at some point, things build up, and then you get overwhelmed. Not only with the feeling of what you're dealing with, but also that the feeling of obligations and pressures, like with the Hoover Boy stuff. That's, again, my perception of it. You know, I think we want to let Kurt talk about these things and put them out there.
Yeah.
But, you know, these are the things that I'm seeing and relating firsthand with as well. So
how do you compartmentalize it, honey? Like how?
So, I mean, I relate to this as well. When you're in the moment and you're professionally dealing with the trauma that Kurt is seeing day to day. Tony, you've been in that situation. I find myself in that situation as well quite often. There isn't time in the moment to stop and deal with the trauma that you're experiencing. So we pack it away because we have to keep going. We have an obligation. As a first responder, as a person that serves the community, like we have taken this on. We need to do the job that we've taken on, that we've committed to doing. So if you don't later unpack that and let it go, let it find a way to let those things loose, they build up like gunk in an engine. And you do end up developing horrible feelings of depression, anxiety, uselessness, cynicism.
Yeah, Kurt talks about it here in a minute as you know, compacting a trash can, keep pushing
Yeah.
stuff down. So let's let him continue here.
okay.
I could go on and on because my brain has rewired itself to always be on high alert. So it's easy for me to spot out and see all the negatives in the world around me. I'm tired of this world lying, cheating, and stealing from each other. Everyone's too busy chasing a dollar so they can show off and peacock in front of the next guy. Parents are too busy playing on their phones to raise the next generation correctly. The media spoon feeds us all BS, creating unneeded race wars. Families split up over politics. You think these politicians care about you? No. Love your family. Smartphones have made the whole world dumb, in my opinion. I've always been really good at hiding the hard times with laughter. That's why we're always joking around and kidding with each other. I like to use hobbies like treasure hunting and fishing. And boy, do I love cooking to keep myself busy. I like to eat. I can keep myself busy all day. No problems there. But as soon as I stop, that is when my mind wanders. Laying down to sleep is obviously the worst. My body will be physically exhausted, yet my mind is at full throttle. Send it. And let me tell you, sleep deprivation sucks all the way.
Well, I can totally relate to that. Like, because I can deflect all day long. I can deal with it all day long. And I usually use laughter for most things and stuff. But the pressure always hits me when I get home at night and I'm trying to turn it off and shut it all down. That's why my wife's so good at compartmentalizing. She deals with a lot of tough stuff throughout the day. And she's so good at compartmentalizing. I'm always trying to learn from her about how to do that, because either my eyes pop open at 3 a.m. and my world falls apart at 3 a.m. until I finally get to work and realize the sky is not falling, or I'm trying to get to sleep and it's just not going to happen, and then all the walls come crushing down at night. So, but maybe you're real good at hiding it, honey, but you compartmentalize it so well that you seem to not struggle with that as much. But
I mean, I don't struggle with it as often as some of my peers do. I certainly don't struggle with it quite as often as I've seen you struggle with it. But I struggle with it. I've gotten really good at taking care of the things I need to take care of so that my space is able to compartmentalize, able to leave that at the door when I walk in, and not take that to bed with me. And you comment all the time, I fall asleep the minute my head hits the pillow. So I'm either just soulless or I have actually learned how to put it down. But I have my days too. I think was it just yesterday or the day before, I came home in an absolutely horrible mood because something had happened that I wasn't able to set down. And again, burnout, like what Kurt is feeling and what you've felt in the past, Tony has felt, like that happens when these things continue to happen and you're not putting it down. It's not just a one-day thing. People do have bad days, but when it's continuous, Kurt had said at the beginning of his videos that he was the black cloud and that he had just had numerous traumatic events that had occurred all at once when he was young. So he probably hadn't, I don't want to assume, but probably hadn't developed, what he needed to compartmentalize to set that down in a healthy way.
Yeah. Let's finish up with Kurt here.
I've always been good at helping other people. I'm much better at giving versus receiving. Unfortunately, I wasn't taking care of myself. I'd like to think of it as an internal trash can. I've been filling it up and smashing it down and filling it up and smashing it down over and over and over. My trash can finally floweth over. I try not to let other people affect my mood. I would bite my tongue and keep my thoughts to myself. I try to block it out and move on. Recently, finally started opening up. I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or, just tired of all the BS. But finally starting to open up and getting some things off my chest and out of my mind. Not going to lie, because that gets you nowhere. It felt pretty damn good. I was finally emptying my trash can before I let it break. I even aired out some beef I had with a few people, all of which came with a tsunami of emotions that I wasn't ready for. I've been emotionally numb for way too long because I've hidden my emotions as well. Long story short, Luckily, before I went down a rabbit hole, which is a bottomless pit, my loved ones noticed a change in my mindset and behavior, and they helped me help myself. For the last month, I voluntarily checked myself into a wellness center for first responders. And for the first time in my life, I was getting some help for me.
Well, thank goodness. I loved hearing him say that. The video kind of shocked me because we all know Kurt is Kurt. He's been entertaining us for years. We never know what's going on behind closed doors, all that kind of stuff. But for him to have the guts and the bravery to kind of come out and say this and kind of let people in, and it's obvious that he's been doing some work, and it's great. He sounds like he's got a loving family around him that's helping him see that he needs to make changes and showing them the own strength he has in himself. And so that's all good stuff. It's all good to hear. And when hear him taking an active level, because the reason we wanted to play this video is because if I was in the Hoover Boys, if I was Kurt and had the history of Kurt making all these videos for every week, once a week, every week, him and I have talked about it. We know exactly how hard it is to maintain that kind of level of commitment. And then to feel like the guilt that you must feel on having to take this break to take care of yourself when you should be able to handle it all, right? Like it had to just be overwhelming. So I was really happy to get to this part of the video to hear what he had been doing, and that he had been taking these steps, right? And it's a good point, because like no matter how deep you get, there's always a place you can go. There's always work you can do. There's always things you can do to try to improve. So
I think listening to his words, talking about how you voluntarily did something, is the family recognized something's been off, and being a first responder, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to come home after an incident that's going to take a little bit to get over, and you're going to have your good times and your bad times. But having that support system recognize it, I think, is massive. Recognize it. And then to say, I think we're at a point where we may need additional steps.
Because as first responders, I would think that you guys usually don't let people in on all of it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you let things slip out, and only when
it gets to this point that you're feeling burnout and it's affecting your mental health, your physical health. I don't think it's an option to keep it from people or not to let it out. I know for me, when I hit that point, I turn into a raging. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah. Sure.
And I know that like my instinct when I'm feeling that way is to snap at you, DK. And you've noticed it at times too, like, hey, what's going on with you? Because we never argue. But I will pick one purposefully when I'm feeling that way. So, I mean, again, like it's the body, the mind's way of getting what it needs, finding that balance, restoring that balance.
Yeah. You just call me DK. That's
I think
cool.
I don't know what the heck you're called on here. I'm sorry. DK, Ken, husband.
Idiot.
I mean, I just want to say, it sounds like on Kurt's side, he does have that support in that family. I know DK and Sheila are also that way. I have a fantastic wife that has done the exact same thing that you brought up, was when you're having a bad day and for that other person to go, you know what, what's going on? You're not yourself today. Tell me what's going on. If you need to vent, and you need to get off your chest. I'm not going to take it personally. You're just taking it out to get it out there. And when you have that support system, this is what does happen. Kurt's able to get that. And I don't even know what the program is that he's in. But a specific mental health help for law enforcement, first responders, those kind of different things. That is incredible.
That's
Talk
huge.
about such a specific area that people that it's tough to relate to what first responders see every day and deal with every day, and to have a specific program that can help him, he's in the right spot. And to do it, to identify it early on, not go down that rabbit hole, voluntarily submit himself to it. Like, he's on the right path and in the right spot with the right support to get the right help. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because it's like, how many times have I seen, your friends that can't deal with it.
Right. Tony, you hit it right on the head. I'd like to remind people also that this isn't just a first responder issue. Burnout can happen regardless of your profession. It can happen, as you guys have stated earlier, with your hobby. Can DK, I don't know what to call you in this. You've gotten burnt out filming videos that you're very passionate about. When you started doing YouTube, you were super, super passionate about it, and you loved it, and it was exciting. And metal detecting was so much fun for you. And you went through a while there where even just the thought of making a video like really brought you down. It kind of just would ruin the entire weekend. And you're just now starting to come out of that. And Tony, I don't know if you've had that experience with the hobby, the videos. You guys do a lot. So it's not just
Tony's like, no, loser.
Never.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I deal
Absolutely.
with humor too all the time.
Right.
But I can tell you, in terms of not only just the passion for metal detecting, the inspiration that we get from producing videos, Ken and I, we talk a lot about these things. And when we are feeling burnt out, we can bounce things off each other and recognize things. So, I mean, we do have a friendship and a support system there for that burnout. I know what he went down. When you're producing a show every week, and I am not in that category. I wish I was, but Kurt and Ken produce weekly shows every week for many, many years without stop. And when Ken got to that point, he's like, I just haven't done it in a month. It's coming out, okay, I haven't done it in 4 months. It's maybe next week I'm getting onto it. And that burnout is there, and you do need to take a step back. It's affecting so many different parts of your life. And as much as we want to put our hearts into our passions, the family does come first. Our mental health comes first. Our physical health comes first. All those things. And I know in the live chat, we've been having people say all the time, you need to take time for yourself. You need to step away. You need to get, the family's most important, and people, when we've even said, hey, we need to take a week off of the podcast, 99% of the messages that we get, hey, guys, take care of whatever you need to take care of. We'll be here next week. And it's fantastic to hear. But that burnout, man, it's real for a whole bunch of different areas of life. And metal detecting, producing videos, all that kind of stuff is part of it. That I know that we've experienced, for sure.
Yeah.
So one of your viewers just put a comment up about, as a former EMT, he said that he needs to keep things secret that he sees. And I deal with a great deal of confidentiality in my own profession. And in those situations, research has shown that your supervisor, good supervision, can be really a life or death option there, to help sort through that and compartmentalize that. I know I am blessed with a phenomenal supervisor who I can share anything with, but it still comes home sometimes. And I am able to talk to Ken about things without talking about things, which is a great skill and a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of people have those kind of supervisors, though. It really makes it tough. If you don't feel supported when you're in that kind of heavy, high-end type of profession where you do need somebody like that, you do need that backup, you do need that somebody you can bounce stuff off of and release on and confer with. You're blessed, honey. You're absolutely blessed. Your department.
Oh, I am. My supervisor is amazing. So
not just your supervisor, your entire department. It's like one of their main concerns where, I think in other professions, when you need that type of supervisor, you're lucky if you get that type of supervisor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, in some of the, I'll say it, some of the male-centric driven professions where, it's this macho stuff going on. And it's like, oh, man, you're going to go cry on my shoulder now? What's, blah, 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 whatever, and you need somebody to talk to. It's not always available. Even though I have never been a first responder, still I've been in high pressure, high stress professions before where, yeah, sometimes you do need somebody to just go, look, man, you're doing all you can. Don't worry about it. Go take a break, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Instead of, kind of driving for more and, you're being a sissy or you're being whatever, or, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, young man, or whatever it's going to be. But it's definitely tough. So let's finish up with Kurt here and we can add some more about it.
So that's where I've been, completely cut off from the world. Unfortunately, during this time, we had a trip planned to Scotland to meet up and treasure hunt with John, the Scottish detectorist on YouTube. We had this collaboration planned for almost a year. Luckily, Brad, Andy, Big John, and Sean made the trip. Go check out the Scottish detectorist on YouTube. Videos from that trip are now being posted from John. Thank you, John, for taking good care of the boys. I am so sorry I couldn't make the trip this go around. It really sucked.
I bet, man.
I do have a video or two that I need to edit and post, but for now, I've just been taking it easy and enjoying some much needed family time. Don't worry, THB isn't going anywhere. I love you all, even the haters. Moving forward, I think everyone will be getting a better. Moving forward, I think everyone will be getting a better version of me. If anyone out there is struggling in any way, shape, or form, you are not in this alone. Please go get some help. Tomorrow is not promised. Life is too short. Please enjoy it. I love you. That's it for now. I'm just taking it easy. Kisses. Bye. See you soon, hopefully. It's a lot going on right now.
Well, we love you too, Kurt, and we hope to be seeing you soon, but just don't worry about us, man. Keep doing what you're doing. But, to kind of lighten it up a little bit, could you imagine? He must have been absolutely crushed to not be going to Scotland. I know I know he missed that trip so much. We had another friend of ours, Mike Hine, preacher digger.
Yeah, preacher digger.
In the hospital on his way to his England trip, and he had to give up his England trip. There's nothing better we like more than to go on some kind of epic, historic trip like that. And I know that had to crush Kurt, but he'll get back there. He'll get back there. Sure.
He said that he has, missed out this time. He'll get back there.
He'll get back there.
You got to get yourself straight. Get your head screwed on and be in a better place. And there's no better time to do it than right now, immediately. You can't sit on it.
Yeah. So Tony and I saw that video earlier. We just thought it'd be, important to kind of talk about and because it affects not only the metal detecting community, but whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Especially when you add all this additional kind of pressure on yourself to satisfy multiple people. Like for a while there, man, I was like working. I was had the YouTube thing going, had the podcast thing going, had all the other social media going. I was a board of directors with the museum, board of directors with the detecting club, doing all the presentations at the detecting club. I was, leader of the heart group at the detecting club, like had all this stuff going on. Plus trying to get out and have fun and do my own detecting. So, I mean, but you can add all kinds of pressure to yourself, what I mean?
But all those things, they take away from home life.
Well, and he didn't mention that while all of that was going on, he was taking care of me after surgery and his mother and we call him our hospice dog. Like he does all of that continuously. Yeah. Seamlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put it all on yourself. You can do a lot, and then you start thinking like, well, where can I start backing off? But like Kurt's doing a lot of stuff, and he, I'm sure he felt terrible to kind of have to back away to take care of himself. And how terrible is that you would feel bad about that? And I'm not saying he does. I'm not saying he did feel bad about it, but I know I was thinking like, where can I stop? Like, I'm going to let that person down. I'm going to let that person down. Sure as hell, I'm not going to let my wife down. All these extracurricular things are going to have to stop.
Yeah.
And they did one by one. I had to back off one by one. And now.
But I know you really struggled with letting all of that go too. And everything that you have stopped and set aside, you've struggled with for weeks before you actually did it. Like it was just kind of a constant circle of, oh, I have to go do this because I committed to go doing this. I don't want to go do this. I don't feel like going to do this. You could feel the burnout, the fatigue just pouring out of you, yet you were still going. And then eventually you'd stop one and then another, very slowly. And I feel like you are right now at a much healthier level of extracurricular activity.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you'll pick up something new soon too. So.
Yeah.
And
We're going ice fishing.
Ice fishing and basket weaving yoga.
Don't get frostbite.
I'm
I don't know what to do for that.
Yeah, go for it. Don't get frostbite.
I'm taking them duck hunting too. So
There you go.
Some good comments.
We've got time.
Through that for sure.
Yeah. Just you want to talk about those or bring them on?
Yeah, you can bring them on. Yeah.
Okay. And these were just real recent here.
Yeah.
Ski Searcher just makes you realize life is short and precious and we can't take it for granted. It's a fantastic idea for sure. You realize it, but are you going to act on it then too as well? We can say these wonderful things and we know where our heart is, but the action is better than the talk. I'm tired of hearing people talk about it. And this might be harsh.
Yeah.
A lot of things in my life and a lot of people in my life, I'm tired of hearing people talk about it. I would rather see you do something about it. And so, Ski Searcher, and we're friends with Matt and things like that. But, if you need to do things, then do them. Don't just say them.
Yeah, because that's another thing, right? Because he's absolutely right. Like it is precious, man, and we can.
It is.
Any of us could drop dead tomorrow, and on air. that'd be interesting. But you can't take it for granted. I've known so many people that have just gone from being perfectly healthy to dropping dead. You just don't know what's going on inside yourself all the time. But again, it's like, are you going to take that action? Are you going to take that action? Knowing it and doing it, some things, right? You're like,
burnout is, and I'm sure Sheila said I was off there for a while trying to get my connection, but burnout is a very real thing for anybody in any situation, not just first responders, but, in terms of what you put on yourself. And you put it on yourself because you love it. You love doing these different things, but it's okay. Take time, get your head back on straight, get the help that you need, and then get back to the things that you love. It's okay to do those things.
Take a break.
Take a break is great. Breaks are great. I think I definitely wanted to talk about Tim Ildigger. First and foremost, before I read it, putting yourself out there, like Kurt has done, like you and I have done, we've all done out here today. I commend you, Tim, for writing this. And I want to just point out, I was super depressed earlier this year. And luckily I had lots of friends, mainly detecting buddies around me, and helped me through my depression and social anxiety issues. It's a real thing. It's not a weakness.
Yeah.
We all have it, whether we acknowledge it or not, including burnout. And it's okay. It's okay to have these feelings and things, and putting that out there, Tim, is commendable. I thank you for writing that for sure.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool you wrote that.
Yeah, sharing that with us. We appreciate that. I know this is a very private thing, but I know so many of us do metal detecting as an escape or as a, just a fun activity. It gets us outdoors and that vitamin D out in the sunshine, out in the woods and the beauty, and finding the sort of, historical artifacts and sharing it with our buddies and occasionally with our wives. And,
well, just the rings. They only want to see the rings. Yeah.
I haven't found her one lately.
We like the rings.
She's a little perturbed.
They're pretty. They're shiny.
But we do all this stuff that for fun and all that stuff. But it's just and a lot of people use that as a way of dealing with their very stressful work. They'll go out metal detecting and stuff. But even detecting, I think you can get into the point if you put too much pressure on yourself. We've seen so many people in the YouTube community, metal detecting YouTube community, that feel they have to succeed so much that they'll plant fines, or that they'll buy views and buy subscribers to make themselves look artificially proficient or whatever the case. I still don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to
Right.
explain it, but that's a symptom of them adding that pressure and dealing with that pressure, and knowing they're not always going to find something every time. So they feel in this pressure to try to do something great or something by fooling people and stuff. So, which is going to eventually probably burn them out too, because you can only do that for so often.
Right. I mean, I know we're coming down to about the last 5 minutes. We can go as long as we want talking about this stuff. I think it's very important. But Ken, you've told a story about what Matt Howell told us, years ago when we first started. And so, I mean, Matt's in Virginia in a beautiful area, finding incredible historical items. And, you and I are trying to compare ourselves to the things that he finds.
And we're in Colorado.
And we're in just, Colorado, right? But what did he tell you?
It was actually Scott from History Seekers. Yeah.
Sorry.
Scott said, he just said, he said, Ken, you guys are finding stuff here that we're not finding out East. He said, you're finding stuff that we're not finding. So, and you need to realize how important your area here in Colorado was to the establishment of the United States of America, and everyone pushing west. Without them pushing west and exploring and moving onward and moving cross country, we wouldn't have this United States of America that we have today. And in that journey, they brought things with them. And on that journey, they dropped those things, and those things were important to them. They were precious to them. So you really need to, even though you're not out east and you're not finding the stuff we're finding in Colorado, you're finding stuff that we're not finding. And it was so important to them. It was so important to them, these items they lost. They were relying on those things. And he's right. Like, it completely reframed my mind after that conversation when we had him on here as a guest.
Mm-hmm. Totally different view and focus.
Yeah. Because I used to do it all the time. Like, oh man, I wish we lived in New Hampshire.
Right.
I wish we lived on the East Coast somewhere where they have the real history.
Right.
But I don't think if it had changed that frame of mind for me, I don't think that we wouldn't have dug into the research we've done now to find sort of military camps here in Colorado.
Sure.
and the military relics we have that we love so much. I think that really pushed us into, what can we find around here? We need to up our game.
But that comes full circle back to, that one up, I got it. I found this time. I got to do this next time, and then I got to do this next time, and that's putting all that pressure and build up to get to that burnout stage.
Yeah,
and it's not about that. It's what you and I have talked about a lot. It's about the story. The story is what's most important about whatever the find is. It's not that, okay, I found a $1 gold coin. Now I got to find a 2.5. Now I got to find a 5. I got to find a 10 and 20. And it's always more and more and more and more. And that's what brings all of that pressure on top of all of us with whatever we do. And it ends up moving from a passion to an obligation, to where then you really start going down some wrong roads in terms of what you're presenting, as well as what you are experiencing and doing and then putting on yourself. So that's the direction I was going with that, of, always feeling that obligation to put out something that's just absolutely through the roof incredible. And it's not about that.
Well, Sheila knows I used to be on a competition barbecue team, and it was a passion of mine. It was a passion, just like metal detecting is a passion. I loved it. Used to love cooking, love improving, love getting the judges to like your food, going to the events, having a good time. But the crew I was with at some point started becoming an obligation. And sort of, I was no longer a fun-loving volunteer, having the time of my life, cooking some amazing product. It was, I had to be there. I had to do this. I had to punch in. I had to punch out. I had to do this. Had to do this. And it stopped being a fun hobby, a fun thing.
You resented it.
Yeah, I started resenting it. Like, I'm going to go up and do this show. It used to be, I'm going up to do this show. Oh my gosh. Hey, you guys want to come to? Like, I got to go do this show now, So
the obligations,
the obligation, when something stops being fun and becomes an obligation, that should be a good indicator for you guys out there listening. If you're doing anything in your life and it's, that you think is a fun hobby or a fun activity or pastime, and you start feeling like it becoming an obligation, especially if you start to regret it, take a look at it, step back, talk to somebody, people that are around you, your loved ones, friends, say, hey, are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Am I having as much fun as I think I tell myself I should be having? What I mean?
Right.
Because I know my wife would be like, no, you weren't having fun sort of the past few years you were involved in that, which shows what a slow learner I am. But we did get some good barbecue out of it.
Yeah,
we did.
That was a great barbecue.
You did, but I will say that since you did develop that burnout with your barbecue, you don't barbecue as much. In fact, I think just last month you were talking about selling your big smoker because you don't use it anymore.
Yeah. The reason I don't smoke anymore is because Bill, Ohio Relic Hunter, there in the chat started smoking things and put it on his Facebook page. And I just don't need to smoke stuff anymore. I can just watch his Facebook page and get all the excitement.
Live through him. He posted something today about it, what he had on there. It was incredible. Gosh.
Well, if you smoked more stuff, though, on your smoker, the kids would come home and visit us more.
So, that's the key. That's the key.
A couple more things before we head out. Gary Hool said, as a viewer of YouTube videos, right? Are there any things that they can say to all of us that are producing these videos to help in any way? That's a great question.
It's a great question.
Anybody's ever asked me that before, and I got to think of the answer now. What do you think, Tony? If somebody commented on your video and said X, you would be like, wow, thank you. That's
I honestly just think just a comment. I mean, we have, you say you get 1,000 views on a video and you have 3 comments.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have to get that feedback in order to make us feel good, but I like it. But I also like the interaction. I like being able to reply to those people that are watching it and experiencing it, because that's why I'm putting it out there. I want them to experience that history and the story as well. So to me, just any comment of, hey, cool adventure, just something like that, something small. It doesn't have to be your content is the best I've ever seen. I hope you never go away. Why don't you put out more videos? They're amazing. Like, that is going to put that pressure on us, but just to me, I don't know, just something really cool, just a quick comment. And I just love to share.
So I know I don't do videos, but you guys both had said earlier in this show that when you did need to take a break from making videos and putting out content, putting out this podcast, that people would comment like, hey, do what you need to do. And I think that those comments are very supportive. I know for Ken, his biggest worry when he doesn't do a podcast, when he doesn't put out a video, is that he's going to let somebody down in some way that he won't be able to recover from, or that person won't be able to recover from. He's so considerate of what his viewers are thinking and feeling. So I think those comments just supporting like, hey, it is okay to take a break, are amazing.
Yeah. Or even acknowledging the fact that you're exchanging time with each other. They're expending their time to create this content for you. You're expending your time to watch their content. Maybe just a note of, hey man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the effort you're doing to give us this crazy form of entertainment. We're sure enjoying it, but be sure to take time for yourself or whatever like that. I mean, that's something that would be really appreciated, I think, especially if somebody's into getting towards a burnout stage. Somebody that's still on top of it, woo! They're still going to appreciate that, because you're acknowledging the time that they're putting into, this sort of unpaid kind of entertainment, that people are putting out there for you. But no, all good stuff. Gary, thanks for that. All good stuff. Well, we should probably get out of here. I know that Sheila, you sent me a link. You want to tell people about that? It's actually a National Mental Health Hotline.
Yeah, if somebody's feeling burnout and they're not getting relief in the things that they're trying, or they're feeling depressed, or honestly, there's so many different mental health conditions and issues that we as humans deal with. I just wanted to make sure everybody had that number. It's a nice, safe number that you can call for help. They can guide you to find a therapist near you, or just offer someone to talk to. I don't think it costs anything to use the hotline. If I'm wrong, please let me know. but
I'm trying to copy
resources
the
are
phone
great.
number.
So
There it is. I didn't copy the phone number. Let me get that over there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
down in the link is the phone number. I put the website in there, but go ahead. There's the phone number. Good. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate your input tonight, honey. I know that you and I were talking, Tony and I were talking about it earlier. And so before we went on the air, you and I were talking about it, and you had some really good input. So I appreciate you being willing to come on and again, letting people in on more of my personal life. This is my wife, Sheila. And you know, share some of your thoughts on it. I think it were very valuable. So thank you for that.
Yes, thanks, Sheila.
thanks for having me.
Okay. I'll see you on level. We're going to wrap it up, and I'll see you upstairs. Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Love you. Bye. Whoop. There we go. So cool. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry if everyone thought that was too much of a downer. I just think it was important. You and I both talked about it, and
yeah. Well, there's a lot of real life that's
been
been going on lately for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, I think we started off talking about some highs that we had for sure. And then bring it back to those real life situations that we were all experiencing. And this all happened within the same week. So
yeah.
Imagine that going on and on and on and on. And,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been like Brad's been sharing a lot.
Yeah.
Of his own,
I wanted to mention
journey.
that. Yeah. Make sure we put that out there too. Yeah. Go talk about that real quick.
Yeah. Brad, Green Mountain Metal Detecting, came down with what they're thinking is Lyme disease. It really wiped him out completely. Has been down and out. Has been keeping him from doing what he absolutely loves to do because he's a very passionate person. Again, you know, I think he feels terrible that he's not able to continue to produce content, and you know, that commitment to his audience is a very important thing to him. But he also just knows he's got to take care of his health. And he has been, and I believe he has been, and he's getting better. It's great to see these update videos he's been putting out, that he's improving. They still kind of don't know exactly what it is, so I'm sure that is just frustrating him to no end. I know it would me, but you know, same thing. Preacher Digger, we talked about him. You know, had this commitment to go on this England trip, and everyone was expecting him to go, and there was all these plans and all this stuff they had planned to do, and then he had to go take care of his health, and he felt terrible about it personally because he didn't get to go to England, but also because I think part of him felt like maybe it was, you know, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but maybe he was letting the rest of the gang down and stuff, which probably wasn't the case. But yeah, there's been a lot of kind of personal strife and personal stuff coming out lately around the community, and you know, having just come off a year-long break, same type of thing.
But we got to talk about it. I mean, people, you know, we watch a lot of social media, a lot of YouTube, and real life. You know, I think somebody had said it earlier. You know, you guys are really talking about real life stuff. You know, we love to talk about metal detecting, treasure hunting, those kind of things. But you know what? We're real life people as well, and we do have things go on and happen. And hopefully, we've made a good enough connection with a lot of people out here that this is a good topic and they can relate and enjoy it, in addition to treasure hunting and metal detecting as well, because it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
it does. It's real life and passions. So
yeah, if you run against anybody you think should have those websites or that phone number, you can always come back to this video. Have this, so you can go back, scroll through the chat group, scroll down to the bottom and find those numbers.
Yeah,
I'll try to remember to put them in the description of the video. For those of you that are listening on the replay later, I'll definitely put them into the podcast description and pass them along to people you think might need it. You know, it's hard I think for people to take that step. You know, I think they see it as a sign of weakness or something, but man, I'm telling you, it is so important for you to surrender to that. And just get the help. It's out there. It's out. People are out there willing to help you. Yeah. And there's people that love you that wish you will take that step to go get the help that is out there for you to have, you know, instead of just sitting on it.
Yep.
For sure.
I agree. Real good show, DK. I appreciate it. You go by DK, right?
Depends.
I'm gonna give her so much crap about that.
I'm gonna be like, hey, don't call me that. My name's DK. That's the only thing we didn't talk about her coming on tonight. But it's
What do
first
I
time
call
she's been up.
you?
First time she's been up against that one. That's pretty.
She was amazing. Lots of positive things in the chat about having Sheila on tonight, and we want to thank her for giving her time to us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate her perspective and the willingness to come on and share it with us as well. Because
absolutely,
yeah, amazing. So,
all right, man. Well, let's get out of here. I know you're up north visiting some family.
Yep.
And,
yep. I'm going to go have some pizza. Pizza for dinner. Throw the grandkids around, the cousins, everybody, and spend time with my family because I've needed it this week.
Excellent.
Yep.
We'll go do that. And for those of you who are listening earlier, we'll talk more about this production thing that we were involved in as we get closer to it. But that also sparked it too, right? Because we were talking about like all the stuff we want to do now after being around all these professional production people. But that's just more pressure adding to ourselves. So crazy.
All on our shoulder, more on our shoulders. So, but good to talk about this. And obviously, we wish the best to Brad, to Brad, to Preacher Digger, to Kurt, everybody who's struggling with some stuff. Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, man. Well, good, good show. Let's go on and get out of here. Anything going on? Anything you need to announce? I think I'm good.
No. Just head over to 5280 Ventures, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Find me over there. Chat with me. I've been putting out a whole bunch of stuff. I love the interaction. I don't think I've gone a while missing a reply to a comment. I love talking with people and making sure that I check in with them and appreciate all that. Some good Facebook posts lately. So if you guys are interested in some good fun conversations, head over to Facebook. Find 5280 Adventures over there. We'll have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
And
we'll see each other soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're gonna go digging soon again.
Yeah, we are back at that new spot.
Yeah,
sounds good.
All
right, everyone. Yep. Have yourself a good night. If you get out, go find the good stuff. Let me know about it. But be safe. Love each other.
That's right.
Grandma's baroque.
Thank you so much for listening to RELICS Radio. We will see you back here next week for another exciting guest. Until then, get out and dig it all.